No group is perfect. I would say that is pretty much an understatement. Is it time to classify Antifa as a terror group? Bernie Kerik is a former New York City police commissioner, helped put together an anti-terror task force. Commissioner, how do you label this group?
Well, listen, first of all, this is an extremely violent group that goes out and threatens, intimidates, attacks with extreme violence for political reasons. If you look up terrorism, the definition of terrorism, that's what terrorism is, when somebody imposes threats and violence against someone else for political reasons. I think, I've said this in the past, and some people would disagree, I think they should be designated as a terror group, a domestic terror group, just like the Black Liberation Army and the Black Panther Party and the Weather Underground and the Sam Melville Jackson unit back in the 70s and 80s, 60s, just like they were. And I think that's how you're going to have to deal with them, because the local state police entities out there now are not doing that. I watched this demonstration in Portland. I was appalled that the police wasn't more active, preemptive, proactive. Some of the beatdowns, this young journalist that was beaten, severely beaten, not just smacked around, severely beaten with substantial injuries. And this stuff is growing. It's in Portland. It's in, California. It's in a number of these states where you have Democratic leadership and Democratic mayors.
But, Commissioner, also, they started in the 70s, I understand, anti-fascist. They want to push back against any white supremacist organization. They now morphed into anti-Trump and anti-conservative. That was a journalist. I thought we were worried about journalists and the health. We want to condemn Donald Trump for rhetoric. What about the fists?
Well, it's only anti-journalist when that's okay when they're conservative. If they're conservatives, then it seems like no holds are barred. They get to do what they want. I think it's got to stop. I think these police departments, they know when they're coming out. They know when these demonstrations are going to be. They have a basic idea of how many people are going to be there. And I can tell you, under Rudy Giuliani, back when I was police commissioner, this would be absolutely, all hands on deck to make sure this didn't happen.
And your whole police force would know about what to look for, how they assemble, and how to stop it. And they would have drilled and practiced. And now the mayor's under fire, and so is the police force invisible. And final thought on this, Commissioner, you're worried about these guys assembling. Social media's got to clamp down. What are they waiting for?
Yeah, you know what, Brian? I don't know. They knock people off the air off of social media, these conservatives, just for a comment. I've watched these beatdowns, dozens of different videos on different, anti-conservative sites over the last 4 or 5 days, just outrageous. Right. So I don't know what they're doing.
Right. You got to be ready to stand up for yourself. And I'm glad this journalist, whose brain is bleeding, still wanted to do media, to know that he was not threatening. He was covering a protest, and he got beat to a pulp. Commissioner, I love what you did for the Gallagher family today, and thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
You got it.